Hi, I'm sayakatcosplay, and today I'm going to be making a giant foam prop, specifically the scissor blade from Kill la Kill for Ryuko Matoi. This video is going to be all about how to make a big old foam prop and how I'm going to actually break this into multiple pieces because this has to be shipped. So this is the blueprint. Usually I make my own blueprints, but I hit a lazy and I bought this off Etsy. I'll link the store that I got this, the shop that I got this from, down below. So this thing is 3.5 feet long, and finding a box that is that big and long is hard and tricky, and I don't want to deal with it. I'm going to break this apart into multiple pieces. It's either going to be 2 or 3 sections, and the way that I'm going to do that is with aluminum rod for not only reinforcing the prop but also helping put it together, and I have a big old box of magnets. So this prop is going to be made out of foam and aluminum rod and magnets. That's pretty much that, and paint and glue is what's going to be in this prop. So if you're interested in learning how I make A, huge props, and B, how I make huge props that break apart, keep on watching. And yeah, don't forget to maybe hit that subscribe button, like the video. If you have any comments about prop making in general, just let me know. And yeah, here we go. So the primary material that I'm going to be making this out of is 10mm EVA foam. First is I have to figure out where I'm going to break the prop apart, where the various joints are going to be. I think I figured it out, that there's going to be a joint here between where there's big bevels and this section, and then between the handles and this section. It may end up being that there's a joint here and that's it. I have to cut some stuff out and figure it out. Either way, it's going to be made in separate sections because there are quite a number of bevels around the various sections. Also, the blade is going to be made of 2 layers of 10mm EVA foam along with this, but the handles are going to be 3 layers because they are a little bit thicker. So that's how I'm going to be putting it together, and then this little guy at the back is going to be 2 layers as well. So the aluminum rod, this stuff is pretty sturdy. This is actually aluminum welding rod that I stole from my dad. Well, he gave it to me, or I don't know, but anyway, this is aluminum welding rod. It's really lightweight, it's thin, it's flexible, and you can cut it, but you need a special pair of like metal snips. I have a pair of metal snips that I actually have for working with metal corset supplies, so corset boning, so metal boning. I have snips that work for that, and it works great on this too. So I'm gonna probably need to snip this to length. And the nice thing about using like aluminum rod instead of PVC pipe is PVC pipe can be pretty bulky, and you can flatten the PVC pipe, but that's a long, tedious process to heat it up, and that gets dangerous because PVC, when you heat it, it releases nasty gas. So I've been preferring using aluminum rod. It also means that I can make thinner props as well. I used to only pretty much use PVC pipe until I was introduced to like aluminum. You can also get like nylon or Kevlar rods as well. So you can find lots of different prop reinforcements in various places. Once I run out of this, I'm gonna definitely get more aluminum rods. Probably gonna steal some more from my dad. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna need to figure out how long I need this and the various sections. I'm gonna end up leaving overlaps out so that the other piece, in addition to the magnet, will have a piece of rod to slot into. And I have to figure that out because the magnets that I have are big, they're wide. So I have to make sure that the foam is wide enough to cover the magnets. So that's one thing that I'm gonna have to figure out. I may end up having to like overlay some foam and have the magnets slide in like this. So we'll see how this ends up going with putting everything together with the rods and the magnets and everything. I'm gonna have to figure that out as I go and then explain what I did when I do it. Okay, let's cut out some foam first. Okay, so after some finagling and figuring stuff out, the magnets are actually already attached to this one side of the blade. As you can see, the blade is still pretty rough. It's not like sanded down or anything. And so there's magnets on both sides to come off. And I always attach magnets in pairs so that I know what side's which, and I don't mess up the polarity. So what I've gone ahead and done is just kind of poked this guy in up here. Oh, that was a bad noise. But basically I just made a hole up here for me to... Oh, that's a terrible noise. Anyway, this is going to end up in this section here at the top so that there's stability. And like, so this is going to get attached to these, and because of how thin the covering over here is going to be, I cut out 2mm pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this section out entirely and then skin it, and the magnet will attach up here, and yeah, that'll be, hopefully the magnet won't pull the 2mm foam too badly. I might need to reinforce it or add another layer. I'm not sure, but I didn't want to add too much bulk at first. So yeah, I got to start getting everything glued and cut and put together for this section. I was gonna potentially make 3 sections, but I think I'm just gonna make 2. I'm gonna make the blade and then the handle. And I just gotta start putting everything together, gluing everything together. I've got most everything cut out. Nothing is really cut very detailed because I like to layer things together first and then cut in and Dremel in the details. So once everything's cut and layered and glued and put together, then everything gets Dremeled and detailed and, you know, turns into like a nice looking prop. So okay, I'm gonna do some stuff. Okay, so I've gotten more stuff glued together, and I want to show you this side I've covered in craft foam, and so you can't see the magnet. This side you can still see it. I have to yet to cover this side with craft foam, but I can pull it apart. It's working so far. So I just have to do the other side and then finish gluing some stuff, and then it's time to Dremel. All right, so this is finished for the day. I'm gonna be doing some painting and stuff because I don't feel like dremeling right now, so I'm gonna do the dremeling tomorrow. So I've got all the pieces here, and you know, they assemble like this. Yeah, like this. And so I will be dremeling all of these pieces tomorrow, and then assembling the rest of this handle back here. So attach this to these guys, and once it's dremeled and sanded and all the details are in, then it's ready for priming and painting, and the priming and painting should be fairly straightforward. So this is a prop that comes apart and is 2 pieces, and will have a seam right here that I'm hoping to hide as much as I can, and I will be sanding and dremeling and painting and everything with this assembled, and then take it apart once everything is done. And I don't want it to like be painted and stuck together, but yeah, the one thing I didn't realize was that the magnets were going to stick to each other when I took it apart, so I'm just going to have to address that and be careful with that. But other than that, that's good progress for one day to get everything ready to go, cut out, and I'm just going to do some more cutting and sanding tomorrow, and then I should be able to prime it tomorrow as well, or at least start priming it, and have this done in a couple of days. So this is like, it looks complex and complicated and difficult, but it really is mostly just cutting and sanding, especially when you already have a pattern to go off of. So this is my stopping point for the day, and I will see you in the morning or whenever I Dremel it. I'm probably going to record some dremeling footage, but not a ton because it's sanding. So if you want to see how to sand things, I'm going to have a little bit of that in this video, but it's not going to be everything. I mean, sitting and watching me sand is not like the most incredibly entertaining thing, so I'll record a little bit, but all right. Yes, good for the day. Hello, it is the next day. Can you tell? I don't know, I'm wearing the same stuff. Anyway, before I start dremeling this down, I'm gonna carve these down to get rid of as much excess material as I can, so that I make less dust and less mess for myself. I mean, it's still gonna be the same amount of mess to clean up. So I'm gonna carve these down and get rid of excess material before I start the dremeling process. When you're carving foam, you want to have a really sharp blade, so make sure you have either a box cutter with a lot of different disposable blades or a sharpener on hand to sharpen your blade. So I'm just gonna carve off the excess and then prep it for the Dremel. Okay, this took forever, but I got everything carved out. I only recorded carving this piece, but yeah, everything is pretty much ready to go. I've taken off as much excess material as I want to before I start going in with my Dremel. So I'm going to take this over to my other table, because that's where my Dremel is, and I don't feel like moving it, and prep for spending a while sanding, and then sand the salt. And then once everything is sanded and beveled and everything's good, I might do a little bit of seam finishing if I need to, and then it's ready for primer. And pro tip, if you're gonna be dremeling for a while, go to the bathroom before you start dremeling, because once you start, you're gonna be covered in dust and gross, and yeah. I've learned that the hard way. Okay, so ready, set. Don't forget to protect your wine holes. So last step for now, before I do the gap filling and priming, is to glue the rest of the handle together. So I'm gonna do that. Oh look, what's this stick? Ah yes, the joy of magnets. Just FYI, I'm adding little reinforcement rods in between these connections. There's one right here, just for more support, so that the handle isn't like floppy or weird. It's a little floppy back here, so I just want to make sure that it sticks well to this piece. All right, she is ready for some gap filling and then priming. So that is the next steps of the making of this prop. Whoa! This thing's big. And yes, it still does come apart right here. I have a little bit of a gap between these two sections here, which I think I might try to fix, but I don't know. Might just be, I think it's okay. But yeah, all right, I'm gonna do some gap filling and patching of seams where I need to, and then start priming. Alright, so I know there's a lot of background noise. It's cold down here, I have my heater on and the dryer's going. But anyway, so I got 2 layers of primer onto the blade. I was using Hex Flex. I just put 2 layers of this on. It's a brush-on primer. It's getting too cold out to plasti dip without it like getting weird. So I'm just using brush-on stuff at this time of year. And then I went ahead and did a base layer of white, because if you don't have a consistent base layer, it's going to take forever to get a consistent top layer of paint. So this is base layer, and then I have 1 layer of red on this side And I'm gonna go ahead and do another layer of red on this side, and then I have to let it dry, and then do it again, and then do it again, and then see how the color is looking. I might go in and airbrush some stuff and airbrush in some details, and then seal it with a top coat, and then it'll be done. And yeah, and then I'll do the final reveal. So I'm just gonna do some painting and wait for it to dry. That's always the fun part. So the scissor blade is complete. It is done. I just did a little bit of detail shading in a couple of spots, and then I clear coated it in Mod Podge gloss. So this is just gloss Mod Podge, just brush on. So this is entirely done in brush on primer, brush on paint, and brush on finish. So you don't need any fancy stuff to complete this prop here. You just need a pattern, some aluminum rods, magnets, glue, and paint and stuff, and Dremel, and you get this awesome proppy prop. And it's pretty sturdy, it's pretty lightweight. I don't know how much it weighs, but it can't weigh more than like a pound. It's pretty cool, I think. Anyway, the tip has been reinforced with some super glue. So there was super glue that was put onto the tip before it was heat sealed and before it was sealed with paint and primer and stuff. So this part is actually pretty sturdy, so hopefully this will hold up over time. It's solid. So that's a nice little trick to make sure that your prop doesn't bend or break at the tip, is to reinforce the tip with super glue before you heat seal it, before anything. That just makes the foam stiffer and harder, and it's going to be harder to hurt. So just to show you how this comes apart real quick, you just kind of go swoop, and it comes apart. One of the things I didn't realize is the magnets would decide to go together, but you just have to, get your hand in there and separate them, and then you can just swoop it back together. So you just go like this and separate the magnets back out and put it back in, and it just goes chunk. And it's really easy to get apart. It's really easy. It stays together really, really well. I'm not worried about it coming apart. And yeah, it's done. Nice, quick, fun foam prop build. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, things. I think I already said that, and I will see you folks in the next video. Bye!